Hey guys, today I'm super excited to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on Saw X. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know how big a fan I am of this franchise. I love it because it is brutal, and just when you think they aren't going to push things any further, they do. And I love the twists and the reveals and the reason that Jigsaw does this, right? The reason these people are hooked up into these traps is always a fault of their own. So I was very excited to see where we were going to go with Saw X, right? We know Tobin is back, right? We know Shawnee Smith is back. We know they're back. We know that we are getting Jigsaw and Amanda back together. This is obviously taking place previously. It is taking place before he died, before John died. So we know this, okay? We're aware. Now, the thing is, it comes down to story. Is it worth it? You know, how does it feel to go back? Is that weird? It's not weird. It's actually very exciting and pulled off very, very well. Now, I will say the beginning of this movie doesn't really feel like a Saw movie. There's a little tiny bit that is in there and you're like, yeah! And then it like goes on and tells this other story. It's kind of emotional, right? It's kind of a personal, deep emotional story that we get of John's, and it's done really well. I mean, you never think you're gonna sit there and be like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him, like almost tearing up over his story. Never would have expected that in a million years, but yet here we are. So we get that, and if you've seen the trailer, which if you haven't, don't watch it because I feel like it gives away a little too much, just because it would be kind of an exciting twist that if you've seen the trailer you already know. Doesn't ruin the movie by any means, but it would have been nice to not know that part of it. So final, like, I don't even want to say half, probably 2/3 of the film. Amazing. We get like Saw raised up to like times 11. Like, it is so brutal. There are a lot of those moments where you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this. Let me watch through my fingers. You know what I mean? You get a lot of those. The cringy, like, not cringy in like a bad way, but in the fact that your literally body curls up and cringes into the fetal position because you're like, I can't believe they're showing this on screen. Practical effects, again, always works. Can't do other effects in the Saw franchise. I feel like the majority of these are practical for the most part. They may be cleaned up in VFX after. That is why they work so well. The traps are insane. They are brutal. They are crazy. They get worse and worse and worse and worse. Of course, the score, chilling, absolutely chilling. It feels like a Saw movie, and I loved it so much. Here's the thing. This movie, my favorite since the first one. Like, it's not even a question. It ended and I was like, oh my gosh. First of all, people cheered in a critic screening. People cheered at several different times, okay? And the end was great. You're like, yes, this is amazing. I love how they ended this. And then you get a mid-credit scene, cheering again, jaw on the floor, super excited for certain things, which I will not spoil. But you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for more. Give me more Jigsaw, right? I don't think this is the last one. I don't know if it's been official. I feel like I maybe heard they were doing another one, but if they haven't said it, they're going to be doing another one. Like, they better. I'll be so mad. This franchise should never die. It is so much fun. It's insane. It's absolute insanity. And yet somehow this one tugged at my heartstrings too. It was weirdly emotional, weirdly had a little bit of heart mixed in there because of certain things. And you're just like, I can't believe they're doing this. But it is, it's so good. The setting for this one is amazing. Like, with the traps and everything, the story is really good. Like, this is a really good story. They're not like, oh, let's throw together some crap so that we can throw in some traps and see what happens. No, this is like a literal great story, backstory type of thing, filling in some gaps, right? Obviously, because it took place in the past, from where the spiral is, you know what I mean? So, but it's all done so well. And Tobin gives a phenomenal performance, and Shawnee gives a phenomenal performance. It's so amazing to have Amanda and John back, Amanda and Jigsaw back. I loved this movie. I really would have to seriously sit and think long and hard to find anything I didn't love about this movie. That's how much I loved this movie. I love this franchise anyways. I always have, but this blew my mind. And I cannot wait for the world to see it. It's in theaters this Friday, so be sure to check it out. You guys let me know your thoughts on Saw X down below in the comments. Are you super excited to check it out? If by the time you got to this review, you've already seen it, let me know what you thought. Am I crazy? Or is this like a perfect Saw film. It fits into the franchise perfectly. I love it so much. It's so good. There's so much that I loved about this and nothing that I didn't love about this. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, no, nothing. I've got nothing. Nothing at all. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you guys can check me out at mamasgeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.